Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. We've been discussing a subject that has not only been a concern in the city of Milwaukee, but all across the country: race relations and injustice. My next guest is Nate Hamiilton, co-founder of the Coalition for Justice, and we are blessed to be also joined by his brother, Dameion Hamiilton. How are you, fellas?
Good.
Good to see you here. And Dameion, we didn't have it planned for you to be on today, but it is certainly a pleasure to have you here, because I think it's safe to say he's the quiet one, right?
Yeah.
Well, in all seriousness, it was on April 30th of 2014 that your brother, Dontre, was tragically killed in Red Arrow Park in downtown Milwaukee by then police officer Christopher Manning. Dontre was unarmed, but yet was shot 14 times. And I'm sure that you've heard that said over and over again, and it doesn't get any easier, right?
No, it never gets easier hearing it. Then you hear stories of other people either getting shot just as many, or if not more. So it's hurting every time we hear about it, and just not knowing that people don't know the truth of it all. They don't know the full description. They haven't seen the autopsy report. They haven't seen the body. So it's like when you look into the whole aspect of it and understand that the 7 bullets aimed downward and no explanation through the DA for that or why that occurred, but using a rubber band to explain that, no in-depth forensic searches or nothing like that to actually give us a broader opinion or fact on,
or better understanding of what actually happened.
Right.
Yeah. This is the 2nd anniversary of his passing, coming up on April 30th. You and your family have fought tirelessly, not only for justice for Dontre, but for so many others who have lost their lives in this way. You guys have planned some community events on Saturday, April 30th, and this is a great time for you to tell everybody at home watching how they can get involved and be a part of remembering Dontre, but also the movement for justice.
Yeah, we, I tell everybody, like the Coalition for Justice, our family, we are out to prevent these type of things from happening. And in order to happen, allow that to happen, we have to understand each other culturally, socially, racially, spiritually, or whatever aspect of life you want to look at, but we have to understand one another. And first of all, we have to allow our guards to come down. And at our events, we allow that space to happen. And by doing that, we allow whites, we allow Latinos, we allow Muslims, we allow any culture to be a part of it, to help create, to help build that experience of community. So it's really a good thing that even the UU, that church is working effortlessly in providing a truth in their community. And when you have white Americans ask us, what can we do? And we say, talk to your people, help them understand, because sometimes us approaching them, they just don't get it, or they just don't want to listen. So sometimes you need to hear it from the same people, or the people that you respect. And sometimes we respect our culture. So we look for them to keep doing that work, and we support them in every way.
Yeah, so tell us about this event that's going to be happening on Saturday the 30th.
So at 12:30, we'll be meeting at Center and Fond du Lac, 27th and Center and Fond du Lac, and that's where the march will begin.
Okay.
And we'll march down to Red Arrow Park, and we'll have a celebration in the park that will start at between 2 to 8.
Okay, so from 2 to 8 at Red Arrow Park, you'll just have really just the community coming together
It'll be free food. There'll be a lot of arts and crafts work that kids can come and participate in. We got a lot of stuff going on for the kids. I believe we have the Milwaukee Tumblers that's going to participate. There's events after events. We have musicians, we have poets, we have praise dancers, we have church choirs and Marquette choirs coming. So we have a lineup of people. Gwen Moore is going to be one of the speakers there. So we're really trying to, bring diversity into this movement as well. I know a lot of people like Black Lives Matter, and which they do. But we understand that all lives do matter as well, but to incorporate blackness into American society so that they can respect it, so that they can understand it, and that they can be safe around it. There's nothing wrong with being around black people. Black people are safe just as much as any other person. They make mistakes and they do things just as well as any culture, but we want them to help, try to understand it a little better, and that's what this event is about.
Yes, and the little one, he's getting a little angst there. He's been doing so well. We're almost wrapping up, but you're on daddy duty today, right? And doing a great job of it. So Christopher Manning, he continues to try to get back his job, but he ultimately was fired by Police Chief Ed Flynn for failing to follow proper protocol in that scenario on April 30th of 2014. He was never charged on a state or federal level. So with that said, Police Chief Flynn invited the U.S. Department of Justice to review the Milwaukee Police Department. It's a process that is expected to take maybe up to 2 years and cover all aspects of the agency. There have been plenty of public listening sessions with the U.S. Department of Justice, and you guys have been attending, and I think that you're the perfect person to kind of fill people in who have not been there to witness what's going on. Tell us what's some of the things that have been taking place.
I think the first thing and the most important thing is, I think Milwaukee shown out when we had that listening session with the DOJ. They said that was the most people that ever shown up to one of those meetings. So the concern and the depth of people who really is engaging in this type of behavior about the police department is amazing. But we felt the youth was very important too. So how can we engage the youth? And the DOJ teamed up with their consulting agency, and they came and they listened to the youth, which was very powerful. We had aldermen there, we had a couple other people there, but it was hear the youth. We have to make sure that their voices go forth and that people start respecting them because they are our future.
Absolutely.
And going forth, now the DOJ has put out something on their website where you can go to the DOJ website, you can click Milwaukee, and then to tell you that the reform initiative that they have set forth, the Coalition for Justice, along with the ACLU, the NAACP, have been working with other people and other organizations as well to make sure that those initiatives are appropriate. And we have also made our suggestions on what we still think should be done. We still are looking for a patterns and practice investigation into the Milwaukee Police Department, full-blown investigation, and we'll continue to fight for that.
Gotcha. So you guys basically would like to see deeper investigation and more transparency. So Dameion, when you look at what's taken place up to this point, do you feel like satisfied with anything that has gone on up to this point?
To be honest with you, no. And it took our attorneys to paint that picture for us. But the reality of it was that it actually happened, that officers are not being charged for the harm that they do to the individuals as well as the families. And where does that change come? That's what we're looking for. That's what we being a part of the coalition, that's what we're trying to do, find change. And it makes it hard because we could be that family that be totally negative, to be out here not doing things the correct way, but we're trying to bring about peace to a broken community. When you look on the news, there's deaths happening, at least several a night, and my brother has constant conversations with myself and others to try to figure out how can we fix those issues. How can we sit down at the table with the police officers, and be able to come up with some type of a solution as to what can we do to save lives instead of harming these lives.
Yeah, so, and I'm glad you are here with us today because Needless to say, we're in a presidential election year, and Democratic presidential hopeful Hillary Clinton has been endorsed by a number of moms of the movement, which include the mothers of Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, your mother, Maria, and so many others. They, along with those other moms, have been traveling the country with Hillary Clinton to talk about all this. You traveled to New York with your mother to actually sit down with Secretary Clinton and tell us the outcome and some of the things that took place on that trip.
It was an amazing trip. You know, my mom always talked about, you know, no one can understand how she feels as a mother to lose a child. Mm-hmm. But when she engaged with mothers like Sandra Bland's mother or Eric Gardner's mother, and I got to see it for myself, and they can be able to relate to each other based on their separate situations that they're going through. Even though they may be different, they're very similar.
They have that same pain.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and they can be able to talk about this pain, and I seen them greet each other as mothers, but as the conversations grew, they embraced each other as if they were sisters. Mm-hmm. So it was a very enjoyable experience for me, and it just taught me a lot about how these mothers have come from several places across the country and united for one specific cause, but to stand together as sisters in this fight.
So when you guys look back over the course of the last 2 years, what are your thoughts and your feelings with everything that has transpired up to this point?
For me, it went so fast. We've been so busy. We've been so dedicated to committing, to change, mm-hmm. Reform, mental health. It seems like it's nonstop. So to have that energy is it's just a blessing from God. At the end of the day, we really thank God for giving us that power, giving us that platform. But we want to also share that. We also want to create leaders within our community.
And wrapping up, guys, would want to give people your website address so they can actually go on and get the details of Dontre Day, which is again coming up on Saturday, April 30th. And is there anything else that you want them to know about?
If they would like to, once they go onto the website, they can go to the GoFundMe that we set up for Dontre Day, and if there's anyone out there that would like to donate, they have the opportunity to then.
Okay, so in that website address, we'll put it right there on the screen, cfjmilwaukee.org. It goes without saying, I really appreciate the both of you coming by. And Nate, you and your mother and your entire family, you've always responded in being ready to inform the public about what's going on, what you're working on, and I appreciate that. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Okay, and continued blessings, and you have my prayers as well. Nate Hamiilton is the co-founder of the Coalition for Justice, and we also thank his brother, Dameion Hamiilton, for being here today. Dontre Day is on Saturday, April 30th at Milwaukee's Red Arrow Park from 2 till 8 p.m. Log on to cfjmilwaukee.org for those details. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope you join us again next week as we take another look at Our Issues Milwaukee. Have a great day.